Hey, what's up, universe? It is 3:30 p.m. on Tuesday, May 16th, right? I believe. Yeah, 2023. Uh, so this is just kind of a random, kind of daily post. On the emotional docket today, there were things such as finances a little bit. Yesterday was a little bit about like sharing my life experience with somebody, so stuff around like my ex-wife and like the things that just kind of like the visions that we had, or the kind of the things that we had looked to maybe do together. There's things about this place that kind of bring that up. My oldest son had a little graduation ceremony. He's a junior, going to be a senior next year. He's also learning to be a firefighter in our school district that he's in. They have some really cool programs. They call it the Blue Eagle program. So if you want to learn to be like a paramedic or a police officer or a firefighter, a first responder, they have like, classes and career pathways for that. So it's really cool. And so some of the seniors that are graduating actually are employed now as firefighters, or they're super close. They might have to get their EMT certification, but otherwise they're job ready. So it's really cool. So he's going to be a lieutenant next year. So I went to the ceremony there this morning. That was awesome. And it's really cool to see the donations that different fire stations provide and all of that. So I'm just grateful. I'm going to state my gratitude for community contribution to make things like that happen for our kids. That's pretty awesome for sure. So while I was there, I saw my mom and my first ex-wife. Just so you guys know, I say names, and I say names of some individuals and not of others. I really just feel like calling it all out. I asked my youngest son if he cared, and he didn't actually give me an answer. So I'll double check here. But all of this is public record as far as my ex-wives go. So I'm just kind of just say their name. You know what I mean? So I'm still processing through that. I'm just gonna let you know that. So anyway, I saw my first ex-wife, my mom, and my in-laws. I see my first ex-wife semi-frequently because she's the mother of my children. I did not have any kids with my second wife. And I'm very grateful for the relationship that I have with my ex-in-laws. It's not that we talk at all, but when we see each other, it's very cordial. And my ex-father-in-law, it's like nothing changed. So I'm grateful for that. It's 3:33 p.m. I call out numbers. I see them all the time. What else? The thing that struck me about that particular exchange was that, with my mom, and so that relationship, with my mom and my sisters, through choices that I've made, has changed a lot. I have made attempts to heal that recently over the last year. I've extended myself. I don't feel like it's being overly reciprocated, so I'm just not going to chase that. It's just something that I have to, it brings some things up that I have to accept, and I can feel it in my chest, there's just emotion there that needs to be processed, probably some wounds that need to be healed and things like that. And just acceptance for understanding how things are done generationally. In some ways, I feel like my mom is not emotionally available. And then, given how she was raised, I don't think my grandma was really overly emotionally available either. So it's just the patterns that get perpetuated unless we consciously choose to change them. And then again, we don't know what we don't know. So I know I've got patterns that I'm unaware of, which is part of the reason I do what I do with my language analysis. What are those patterns? What am I not seeing? So there was that. I'm going to express my gratitude that I did wake up to well, I took a nap today, and this is something that I don't normally do, but I was wiped out. I went to that graduation thing, and I came back, and I just allowed myself to sleep for like 2.5 hours. And if you're following this, people might be like, and it's cool to have this judgment, whatever, be like, yo, dude, like, you're unemployed, you're taking a nap in the middle of the day, like, you're questioning your finances, like, what are you doing? How can you possibly sleep in the middle of the day? I was tired. So I allow myself, obviously, to do things that are self-care, which is honoring my truth, taking a nap, setting boundaries around relationships, like healthy things. Like I allow myself to do those things. So that when I woke up from the nap, I woke up to a notification that my previous landlord had returned my security deposit, or at least most of the security deposit. So that was cool. So that's a little bit of cash that came back to me, which I'm grateful for sure. It doesn't answer all of the hows regarding finances, and that's okay. I'm just very grateful that it arrived. So thank you, universe, for that. Thank you. I'm just trying to think. Seems like there's some other things that one thing I do want to mention, just again, this is all random stuff. So my youngest son, picked him up from school, and he was like, Taco Bell sounds really good. And like I was just talking just a moment ago about finances and things like that, and I know for some, like if they were to be in my situation, they may be like, we cannot spend money on frivolous things, but I don't tell my mind that. For me, it's all about the experience. What is it that I am looking to experience? And it's all about the feeling. And it's important for me that my kids experience that feeling too. Do I want my kids to experience anxiety from me? Or would I rather them experience like a sense of calm and a sense of peace and a sense of openness, a sense of potential and possibility? That sounds way more empowering. So that's what I work to provide my kids. And so that's part of the mental work too. Sure, I have this chatter, I have this stuff going on, but it's way more important to me that my children and that even I experience peace and calm and tranquility, centeredness, groundedness, peace of mind. So we got Taco Bell. I got him Taco Bell because I've got stuff here that I made some really good ravioli, so I'm gonna eat that. But yeah, like it was just, I wasn't gonna let that get in the way or cause any anxiety for me or put that out there. So I just call that out. That is part of my process, is that like as I'm going through this stuff, I allow myself to do this. And I'll punctuate that point by relating this story. Now, some of you that know me, that I don't know if you've been following me for a number of years, but I went to Reno in 2020, and this is a great story of like faith and surrender and the power of like staying grounded in like our mental state, at least my mental state. So here's the story. I went to Reno in 2020, gave away all my stuff. I had like cash in my pocket, nothing in the bank. I probably had like $300. Takes like $160 or so, $180 just in gas for me to drive my car from Kansas City to Reno. It's like 1,700 miles around the Tahoe area. And so when I arrived finally in Reno, all I know is that I'd been eating almonds and drinking water for about 2 days, and I had like $35 in my pocket. And I was like, and then my tank was like maybe a quarter full. And I was like, okay, well, I can spend this $35 on gas and have certainty around knowing that I have gas to get around town for whatever it is I may need or want to do. Or I could tell myself, you know what, I've spent about, quite a while driving to Reno in the car. I deserve a meal, a hot meal, a good meal, and to tell my brain that I'm worthy of that, right? And to go ahead and embrace that uncertainty, to be like, I don't know how this is going to work out, just whatever, not worry about that. And then just go and I had to embody the feeling of like the meal, man. I'm hungry. I deserve a good meal and to feel centered and grounded and to feel deserving of that. So I went and I got myself a meal. I even allowed myself to get dessert, and I tipped the waiter. And when I left the restaurant, I had like $5 maybe in my pocket. And then when I got to my car, because as I'm walking to my car, I received some notifications. I had more money by the time I got back in my car than I did when I went into the restaurant. And by the time I got back into the driver's seat of my car, I had $50 because somebody had messaged me and they had gifted me like $45 or $50. So I had more money in my pocket by the time I got back than when I went in. And that's what I'm talking about. Stuff like that in 2020 during that trip happened all the time. It just showed up right when it needed to. That happened before I left for Reno. That happened the summer of 2020. That happened in June and July. Dude, I was selling stuff, like I was getting ready to move, and like I didn't know how I was going to pay an electric bill. I sold something and it was like just the right amount to pay the electric bill. My son bought my old car. He showed up and gave me cash as a form of payment right when I needed to pay another bill. So like, to me, it's literally, if you've seen that scene from Indiana Jones and the Search for the Holy Grail, that stepping onto that platform or that bridge that doesn't look like it's there, it's like that every single time. Every single time. And so that's what I practice. 100%. And so anyway, I just want to put that out there. This was a longer one than I meant to, but yeah, just putting that out there. And I just appreciate you guys listening. Thank you for the space. Thanks for being a part of this journey. So I'm very grateful for the audience and for your attention and your time. So I love you guys. All right. I'll talk to you later. Bye.